Welcome. It's Domain Dave from CheapWineFinder.com, and today we have a $10 wine, $9.99. What's the name of it? Let's see here. And I got a theme behind this one. It's Trader Joe's Reserve Chardonnay, Russian River Valley, Sonoma County, 2020, lots 216. And Trader Joe's does these wines, Napa wines, these Santa Lucia Obispo wines, you know, any from fancy areas, and they're fairly inexpensive. And look, what are these things? I think I named this one, Why the Russian River? And we'll start where you should start with Chardonnay, and that's in France. So we're going to go back to Burgundy. Burgundy's in the eastern, northern part of France somewhat. Champagne, it's a river valley. Most wine places are either oceans or river valleys. It's the farthest north part of Burgundy is Champagne. And one of the reasons Champagne makes sparkling wine is because it's too cold up there. The grapes never got ripe. And when you make sparkling wine, you don't need ripe grapes. You actually want them not to be ripe, because then because all the different production, the different fermentations and whatever, the sugar will grow, and you can always add more to get to what you want. Which means that Burgundy is the farther north you can to get a full growing season for the Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir grape, which means that the grapes are all they can be. We recently did a 223 Grenache from France. And Grenache in 223 was the growing season for Grenache. From bud break, when the vines wake up in the spring, to the leaves fall off and you pick them. And they were telling you that this $7 Grenache was made the right way. It had the long, full growing season. These grapes are all they can be. And Burgundy does that with the Chardonnay grape. And you add in that a unique climate and unique soil and winemakers that have been making wine for generations, and you get some of the best Chardonnays and Pinot Noir in the world. Now we go over to California. I'm going to take a sip. But in California ain't France. It's a whole different climate. But, hold that thought. Yeah, it's a good wine. Coastal areas are cool enough that you can get the full growing season for the Chardonnay grape. Santa Barbara, some microclimates in the Central Coast, mostly around Monterey and up in that area. Carneros, Mendocino, you got Sonoma Coast. The Sonoma Coast is even closer than the Russian River to the sea and the Russian River. But that's where this kind of gets a little bit different. I mean, there are areas there where the grapes can do the full extended growing season. They're all they can possibly be. And that's what the winemakers want, because then they can do whatever they want with the grapes. These grapes are going to give them everything. You don't have to make them, you don't have to do fancy things to make up for it. But the Russian River is North Russian River, South Russian River. South is cold, warm. The north is warmer. Both grow Chardonnay. So this is a wine made by a custom wine company who's in the Russian River for 12 years. They know what they're doing. But we don't know if it's from the fancy, expensive area or up north where it's warmer. And, the southern part, you're getting Chardonnays are $60, $100 more maybe. Not so much up north. I mean, there are good wineries up there that make great wine, but when you're looking for that Burgundian style, it's the cooler part you're looking for. And since you don't know who, what, and where of this wine, you're getting Russian River, but you don't know if you're getting what you want out of Russian River. I was going to say what you're paying for, but you're paying $9.99. You're not paying for Russian River Burgundian grapes. I mean, that's not... So that's why that doesn't matter. So sometimes these Napa wines, are they really like $30 wines you're paying $14 for them? Sometimes, yes. And sometimes you're getting a $9.99 wine that has fancy grapes in them, the ones that you don't normally get. You might get a blend of grapes, and here's the full tilt, which is a good thing. But it isn't the full tilt fancy experience that you think you might be getting, and we don't really know one way or the other. So that's one of the things about these wines. You don't know, but is it still good? Yeah, it tastes great. So don't go into these wines thinking, oh, I'm getting a bargain because it's Russian River. Though it is Russian River grapes, so you don't know which side it's from, or it's a blend of it, or who, what, where, and when. Just go in there thinking, I bet that's a good wine. And so there you go. That's me. These fancy AVA wines are not always what they seem to be, but I keep going back to them because sometimes they're everything I hope that they will be. So that's it for me, Domain Dave, cheapwinefighter.com. Check out the Like Us Where You Like podcast. Do all those fun things, if you will. And keep it cheap, stay safe, and keep cool. And I'll be talking to you in a couple days. Bye-bye.